guys, and welcome to week 33 and 34 weeks of my second pregnancy. Last week, I'm so sorry. I was just too busy. The weather has been completely awful. I live out on big open land and you expect sunny skies and, you know, cloud here or there, and this past 2 weeks have been blah. Just blah. And the weather really affects my emotional state. I notice when the weather is like today, cloudy and gloomy and muggy and drizzly, I'm just like down and I don't want to do anything. But yesterday it was blue skies. I felt amazing. So the weather has a lot to do with how I'm feeling that day. And I hate that you know, I'm having to depend on the weather to how I'm going to feel for the day. And it's just something these past couple of days that I've been trying to change and make myself happy, I guess you could say. But as for the pregnancy these past 2 weeks, nothing has really changed from the other past weeks. I still have a little bit of heartburn here or there. I'm just getting more uncomfortable. His movements are a lot stronger. Some days I'm just like, ow! Because it's like, he jabs me in the ribs and it kind of hurts. And he has the hiccups every single day. And if you want to know, I've been trying to think of ways to explain this, of how things feel for like a guy, or, you know, trying to translate how it feels to be pregnant in a guy's perspective. Have you ever felt your eye twitch? Just twitch, 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 which mine was doing the other day, which made me think of it. That's what hiccups feel like. It's like a constant little, and I mean, they're pretty quick. I mean, so imagine your belly twitching when your eye twitches, if you want to know what hiccups feel like. And depending on where you feel the hiccups is where the baby's head is, because when you hiccup, your head bobs. So he is head down. I feel all his hiccups in my pelvis, and which is, you know, confirmed through my umpteen ultrasounds that I've had. So another thing is, did I already say this? Heartburn. I'm getting heartburn every now and again. I do not take the Tums anymore. Just the aftertaste, the days afterwards, is just completely awful. I would rather deal with the heartburn for the few hours than the day's worth of the metallic taste in my mouth. So yeah, Tums just, it's pretty sad when you would rather deal with the heartburn than what's supposed to help it, you know. Anyways, and another symptom that I've had this week is I have a lot of pressure down below. If I'm up and moving around a lot, it's that by the end of the day it's like, oh, he's just gonna fall out. But he's not. I mean, he's still in there. The best way that I can describe that is, if you've ever had to use crutches for, if you've ever had to use crutches for a long time and you get that really sore feeling in your armpits, that's what it feels like down there. It's just like, I just want to sit down and not move. And I notice when I lift my legs higher, and it kind of like changes the angle of your pelvis and everything, I feel his head and my bones, and it's uncomfortable. So like lifting my legs to shave, or putting my shoes on, or anything like that that takes me having to lift my legs, getting in the truck, is like, ugh, because it's like bone grinding on bone almost, and it's not comfortable at all. But that's it for the, you know, these past 2 weeks of pregnancy that Oh, there is one more thing. A couple days ago, I felt, it was on, actually it was on my left breast. It was like, I had like this tingling. I was like, man, that feeling is really familiar, but what is it? I've got colostrum now. So my mammaries are doing what they're supposed to be. And it makes me excited because I will be able to breastfeed. That's always a concern. Just because you are able to breastfeed one child doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to breastfeed the other. So knowing that my boobs are doing what they're supposed to and starting to produce colostrum, I'm excited to be able to breastfeed. I'm going to have to pump to begin with him being in the hospital. And some babies with HLHS aren't strong enough to nurse, so it just really depends on him if I'm actually able to put him to the breast or not. But he will be getting breast milk. So that's exciting, and I'm happy for that. So let's get into my last doctor's appointment. It was another ultrasound. My last ultrasound was at 33 weeks and 5 days, and he was measuring 35 weeks and 5 days. My fluid looks good. He's head down. He's growing like he's supposed to. I got some more pictures of the ultrasound of his face. He's getting really smushed in there, and I'll insert those 2 pictures now. My cervix is still long and closed, and everything is looking like it should, other than his heart. And his heart is handling his defect pretty well. And that's the doctor's appointment. Nothing really came of it. I passed my gestational diabetes test, which I told you that in my last video, but I didn't find out my numbers. But I did ask the doctor what my numbers were, and they were a 92 after drinking the drink and everything, which is perfect. I totally spaced about asking about my group B strep test, if it came back positive or negative. He didn't say anything about it, so I'm taking it as it came back negative, or the results haven't came in yet. But my next appointment is on the 6th, which is another really busy day. And I'm going to ask about that, and I'll update y'all. As for our last echocardiogram, we talked to a different doctor than we had been. Totally wasn't what I was expecting. When you read the paper and you see you'll be speaking with a Shane Morris, and this young, blonde-haired, slender woman walks in, and it's like, okay, I wasn't expecting to see you as the doctor I was going to be talking to. Anyway, she's another cardiologist, and she says that we see no changes of his heart. His diagnosis hasn't changed any. Everything is still falling in the progression of hypoplastic left heart syndrome. The only thing that she did see is when they were measuring his aortic arch, which is the artery that is part of the reason why his left heart isn't developing the way it should, because the aorta didn't form properly, and it's kind of wavy. It's like this, and it's measuring 1 to 2 either centimeters or millimeters. I still can't remember, and it's bugging me. So it's kind of wavy, and they prefer, more ideal for surgery is they like it between 2 and 3 and sometimes even 4. With his being only 1 and 2 and doing the wave thing, there, it brought up a little bit of concern for surgery. But I still have 40 days to go until my due date. And once he's born, they'll do another echo and be able to get more precise measurement. I don't know where I left off, but my camera shut off, so here we go again. The last echo, the ultrasound tech said, which as the baby gets bigger, their bones, older, the fetus, older in gestation, their bones start to calcify and cause what the technician called a lot of artifacts on his ultrasound, which is caused by his bones, and it causes. You have to imagine they're trying to look at his heart right here in his ribs, and they're having to like try to look between his ribs, otherwise they see a lot of shadows on his heart. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to get more accurate measurements and things like that. So once he's born, they'll do another echo on him physically to get more precise measurements. And then they still won't really be able to tell anything until they, open him up and actually start the surgery. But other than that, no changes have been made. We did talk to his surgeon, who will be his surgeon, is Dr. I can't even remember now. I just totally drew a blank. I'm thinking Morris, but that was the cardiologist we talked to. Frazier, Dr. Charles Frazier. He is actually the head chief surgeon of Texas Children's for their cardiovascular surgery team for the babies, I think. Something like, anyways. And we went and met with him at his clinic and we walked into the clinic, and it was just a bunch of kids running around, and he's only for cardiovascular, which is the heart. He only deals with these children, and seeing all these babies run around made me feel happy, because some of them in there could have had HLHS, and I would have never known it. They were all happy and running around and being kids. So we went and talked with him. He said this is just a get to know you meeting, because the only thing we can do right now is hypothesize the surgery and what's going to happen once he's born. That's all we can do right now, is just hypothesize. So once he's born, we'll sit down a more precise plan of action. But he's really nice, and he was really understanding, and he had 3 of his nurse practitioners in there, and they're all part of the surgery team, and they were all smiles. And I don't know how to put it. They just made me feel welcome. And there's a few YouTube videos that Texas Children did about Dr. Frazier. And I've talked to other parents whose children have had Dr. Frazier as their surgeon. And I've heard nothing but wonderful, wonderful things about him. And it makes me happy to know that my son's going to have one of the best surgeons for HLHS doing his surgeries. And so that's all I've got. So I've got 40 days left till his due date. He is the size of a cantaloupe. Which I think he's actually bigger than that now. He's probably closer to 6 pounds now than he was at my last ultrasound, because I'm just over 34 weeks. So anyways, guys, I'll do my weight, belly, and measurement, and I'll get back to you. Alrighty, so here it is 34 weeks and 2 days actually. My weight is 226, so I'm still gaining, but nothing too extravagant now. And once I start breastfeeding, it's just gonna melt off. And measurement, for week 34 is 49 1/4. So that's it for week 33 and 34. I am just going. I'm taking it day by day still, and yeah, that's all I can do. Just trying to prepare, even though I can't because the room is still not finished. And my bathroom is finally finished. It's beautiful in there. I'm just, I don't know. I have no idea, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna go get some lunch and go do some shopping for the wedding that's next week. Oh my god. It's not this weekend, but next weekend. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!